Yo, welcome to my channel. This is going to be my first video explaining what my idea is for my channel moving forward. As you can see, I have a tree with me, emotional support tree. This video is going to be essentially me explaining what this channel might end up being. Let's see how these long forms go. Yeah, it's probably going to be me waffling whilst trying to brute force this tree into a shape that I like. So let's make a start, I guess. So this is an Acer tree, or a Japanese elm tree that I recently bought. It's just gone outside recently for the first time in its life, and I bought it from what was it, Tesco, I think, for like pennies essentially, and it was not good. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wire it and make it into a cool shape, hopefully. Obviously, the leaves are a little bit sad because it's never seen daylight before. But this is my first experiment, wiring the tree, and it's been quite fun, actually. It's been super fun. Usually I grow cacti and stuff. Well, this is a succulent, but you get the picture. So this is a new experience, and I've kind of wanted like a multi-year project to kind of get into this. So I'm just going to try and unsnip some of this wire, essentially, because some of it's essentially doing nothing for it. So, yeah. But this will be my first video. I don't know how this is gonna. I don't know how this will go. Hopefully it goes well. I want to try and include hobbies of mine, effectively, into me making videos. Essentially, I like creating things, and I usually post videos to Instagram, and I do shorts on here, which I assume whoever watches this video has probably seen. But I just want to do something different, you know. I love movement. I've done movement for like years now. If you're watching this, you know what I do, probably. Unless you're looking at this for plants. And if you're looking at me for plant advice, then you clicked on the wrong video, friend. But you can stay around anyway and give me some plant advice. That'd be great. But yeah, I've done movement for the longest time. And that's great. And I used to love creating like dance for stage, or, you know, just playing around with tricking combos, or when I was in the circus and stuff, just doing things like that. Loved it. And over the years, I've kind of got more into teaching, and I love teaching, don't get me wrong. But the creative side of it just isn't quite there for me anyway. And I like working alone a lot of the time. So I never really get a chance to do creative things much anymore. So this is going to be that. Me making videos about things that I enjoy. And yeah, some of that's going to be plants. I love... It's hard to explain. My job, I travel all around the UK. I teach everywhere. And it's super full on all the time. Quite like a high cognitive load, you know. Always thinking about, what's next? So many different jobs, so many different pay streams. So I'm always constantly thinking of, who's paying me? Who's doing this? Who's doing that? And I don't know. Half the time I'm level with you, I don't know. So I found hobbies that are low, like they take a little bit less thinking, really work for me. I love to go fishing, just walking down a river, walking along the sea. You can't see right now, but the sea is just literally there. Or plants, like long-term things where I can see little incremental growths by actions that I've taken, or by actions I haven't taken when they die. But I haven't killed many plants, actually. I'm pretty good at keeping my plants alive. But yeah, so this is going to be that. And I thought I'd start with this elm. So yeah, I thought I'd start with this Acer tree. When I got it, I've had it for about 2 months now. I think about 2 months. And it was just a stick. And a really boring stick at that. But right now my issue is that it's leaning this way. Obviously, lots of wire here. That's not helping. But also, this isn't bending the way I want it to bend. I think I can fix that relatively easy though. If I just do that, not that bad. Whether that holds in the wind, totally different question. What I might do is stake it up like this. But now I need to think about, I want to grow this into a big tree one day. I'm not going to bonsai it. I haven't got the patience. Also, I really kind of want this to get big. And then someday when I'm old and dead, somebody else can enjoy the tree, which would be super cool. So I'm going to put in the effort now, and then one day, hopefully, it pays off. But I'm thinking we need some balance. I'm growing this up to try and get some thickness on the tree. But I don't know, I kind of wanted to be a bit crooked and kind of warped in on itself. I kind of like the way this goes-ish. I kind of wanted to come around more this way. I haven't snapped it yet, but I'm telling you, I'm getting close. But the goal is essentially to wire in a way that I think looks good. Now, I think is the key word here, really. Because what I think and what other people think is obviously going to be very different. But yeah, we'll see. I'm kind of enjoying nice sweepy bends, making this grow up. I mean, I've got to prune it as well, so like as it gains more branches, I'll shape stuff in, but I need branches first. I can't decide what I want to do with this one though. I think maybe if it kind of comes around here, it's going to be the weirdest looking tree though. Could it do something like that? Let's bring it into there. I think that looks pretty decent. Use some bonsai wire that I own. I bought it off Amazon. Do I know anything about wiring trees? No. I know that it's harder than I thought it was. And that's really about the extent of my expertise. I've been using relatively thin, well, other than the main trunk, relatively thin wire to get this going. And it's been living outside of my balcony. And aces famously hate wind, so I've kind of got it protected as much as I can. They also hate sun, though, and I live on the south coast of England, so this bad boy's been dealing with the sun a little bit. And going from a store to dealing with the sun every day is probably a bit rough for it. But it looks okay. It looks okay. So I'm just going to snip some wire. Guesstimate, let's say, that's how much wire I need. Is there a metric to this? Probably. Do I know the metric? No, I do not. But I wanted to twist back this way, which is easy peasy. Easy peasy. So yeah, whilst I'm doing that, I'll talk more about what my plans are. So basically, I just want to record some hobbies. I'm going to talk about movement, of course, training, things that I've gleaned over the years, like different ideas, different conditioning, what works, what doesn't work, good ways to train, bad ways to train. There's loads of bad ways to train. Man, I've practically done all of the bad ways to train. But yeah, we're going to just film some stuff like that, maybe talk about the industry, talk about social media's impact on the movement space, because I think movement dance tricking, I think that's had a really interesting impact on how we consume that type of material, but also how it's valued. And I don't entirely think that's a good thing. Sometimes it's partly a good thing, partly a bad thing. It really depends. I don't think it's great though. But yeah, I'm also going to film some fishing stuff, me going out, just getting bullied by fish, essentially. I don't eat the fish, so if I do film any fishing stuff, it'll be me putting the fish back. Not that I've got anything wrong with people eating fish or not eating fish. I just don't do it. I like to feel smarter than a fish, you know. Sometimes it's good to feel smarter than a fish. I'm playing. I just enjoy it. I like getting out in nature, and again, it's an activity that I can do where I don't have to think too much. And that's honestly the goal. That is the goal of everything that I do, is to not think too much. So doing stuff like this is really soothing to me, super soothing. And it keeps me calm, it keeps me happy, which I think is all you can really want, you know, from a hobby or something, is to be calm, happy, and just enjoy it, you know. So yeah, I'm going to film some of that. I might film some Japanese. I'm currently learning Japanese as well. If anybody speaks Japanese and would like to speak Japanese to me, that'd be amazing as well. But if not, that's also cool. Japanese is hard. That's something I've discovered over the last year and a half now. I feel like that's going to be like a multi-year project. See how this branch is going? Not well. But we put the wire on, and then support's going to be the issue. But let's try and get that to go into a shape that, you know what? I'm okay with it. I like it. I think that's pretty much all I need to do to this tree, I'm not going to lie. What I am going to do, though, is stake the floor. So I'm going to do this there. I'm going to take some Yarny Boy, spin it around, take a little chunk off, and then loosely tie this round the tree. No fancy knots, just half hitch. That, and then tie it, well, I say tie it, more like wrap it around with that. Let's get this better, but should have lent it to that way, which would have made sense. Give me a second. Cool. And then lean it. That's not even in the right place either. See what I mean? I'm definitely not a pro at this, guys. That looks better. So yeah, then I'll just wrap it around here. Nothing fancy. Again, just relying on the rope's friction to hold it in place. Should be fine. Probably. I don't know. Well, it's going to go out on the balcony soon, so I mean, if it's not fine, it's going to get blown over, and then this would have been an entirely pointless endeavor. What do you know? We have liftoff. I'm just going to take some of these dead leaves off, I think. The worst culprits. Apparently, if you take some leaves off early-ish in the season, it encourages new growth, which is cool. I've learned this year that cutting plants is actually kind of helpful sometimes. I've cut a few plants this year, and I've seen some really cool growth back on them, which is new. I always feel bad cutting plants. I'm like, oh no, you know, you're cutting things, it's going to die. But actually, these guys are like so resilient. And they always seem to come back kind of fine. Well, I say kind of. I haven't had any like super negative effects yet, so kind of fine is all I can say with certainty. Now, I think that looks cool. I don't know what it looks like from your angle. This is the problem. I always think when you do things like this, it's best to step back and go, how much did I mess this up? From my angle, it looks good. I'm going to trust that it looks good from that side. I mean, I'm sure I'll see when I try editing this video. I don't know, you can see what I see. No, it doesn't actually look bad for me either. I'm still going to take some of these leaves off though. Yeah. But yeah, my plans are going to be posting videos once a week of just some things I do. I might post like days of teaching, what's teaching like, how I got into teaching, deep dive some of my background are. I mean, like, obviously people see things online and then you can make assumptions of what I did to get where I am. But I don't really think I've talked about it too much. Not that I avoid talking about it, it's more that it just never comes up, you know. Most people just like, teach me this flip, man, which I'm okay with. But yeah, that looks good, you know. So yeah, I'll post some things like that, maybe giving some insight into my background, what I'm going to be doing on my Instagram, maybe some behind the scenes of what filming looks like for Instagram. Yeah, this video has been a whole lot of waffle. I'm not mad about that, but this is my Acer tree. I don't have a name for it yet. I will come up with one. I typically name my plants. This is an example. Like that. You probably can't see this. This is, I call it Pablo Escobar, because I totally didn't smuggle it into the country from Turkey. It just found its way here, and he is going to be a big plant one day. It's I'm not even going to try and butcher the name. It's something E. ingens. Same kind of family of plant as this, but different shape. This thing is massive. I seen it on a plant that was like probably about 12 foot. I climbed. I say climbed. Stood on a really tall wall and took a bit. Then was like, oh, you'd be cool in my house. That's kind of what I do with plants. I take some cut-ins, or I grow them from seed. I don't particularly. I'm poor, man. I'm a self-employed teacher of acro. We don't make much money, so I typically tend to grow things like this. This is a Peruvian torch cactus, and it's about 5 years old now. It's really small. One day also will be a giant. But I grew this from a seed, so I've seen every stage of life of it so far, which is super cool, actually. But yeah, that's what I do. Can't afford to buy bougie plants, so grow the bougie plants from scratch, and hopefully one day they'll turn into something cool. And it's not like I'm going anywhere anytime soon, so I've got like all of the time in the world to do so. And yeah, that's kind of just what I do with plants. I want to make like the coolest plant shelf that I possibly can. Like, that's the goal. This is my plant shelf, which I built yesterday. But I just want to build a really cool plant shelf with cool and exotic plants that I find interesting. I really like torch cacti in general. I'm a sucker for all things torch cacti. But I like everything, really, honestly. If it can be grown and it's moderately interesting or like slightly dead, I'll buy it. I bought this like 3 days ago, and look how crap it is. Like, it's just dreadful. It was like £1.20 because no one wanted it, and it was just crap. And I had this spare pot lying around. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. These things grow beautifully when they get big. They trail and go everywhere. And they're like bulletproof, honestly. So I bought it, and I'll put in some work now. Give it a few months. It'll probably look decent. But yeah, this is my Acer tree, and this is just my video of me ranting about what I'm going to build and my tree. So moving forward, I'll probably do videos where I show you all of my plants and just chat about how I've grown them, what I do for them, and yeah, I'll also probably do some fishing videos where I just wander and talk, kind of like fishing therapy at that point for myself. Can't afford a therapist, so fish and just chat to the camera, and I think that's an equally valid way to do it. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Sorry for the mega rant. But yeah, hope you think my tree is cool, and hopefully this lasts a while in the wind. We'll see. But yeah, stay tuned, like, subscribe, do whatever, if you've even managed to get this far. If you haven't, that's fine too. This is my first one. It was always going to be ranty. I'm going to plan more moving forward, but I just wanted to break that just get it done, you know, put one out and be like, oh, this is a thing now that I have to commit to. Otherwise I'd never do it. So I've done it. Is it a mess? Yes, it is. Will it get better from you? The bar is so low, undoubtedly. So yeah. Thanks for watching. Catch you in a bit.